Now we're in Grantwood Village, and on the right is the Ulysses S. Grant National Historic Site, while on the left is what is known as Grant's Farm. Affton is a sizable suburb that is just southwest of St. Louis. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen this already, there's a link down below that shows you an interactive map on all of the places that I've made videos on. It's really easy to use. All you have to do is click on the link to the map, and then click on a pin that will take you to a link of said place. I've described it as such before in prior videos about how St. Louis County is made up of hundreds of different jurisdictions and communities that are all sort of crammed in with one another. This video will illustrate that quite well, as if it weren't for my beautifully placed graphics, you'd have no clue on how many different suburbs we'd be driving through if you weren't from the area. In this video, I mostly will be going through Affton and the smaller nearby Grantwood Village, which is, spoiler alert, where the 18th President of the United States, Ulysses S. Grant, used to own a farm. Well, let's get to it, shall we? I do start the video in the parking lot of a Goodwill in Concord, which is southwest of both Affton and Grantwood Village. If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. You can always keep up with the real time that it takes me to drive in the lower left corner of the screen. If I go too fast for you, or if you think that I'm going too slow, you can always adjust the playback speed by selecting the gear icon if you're watching on PC, or by selecting the three-dotted menu if you're watching on a mobile device. Isn't YouTube great? Also really quick, as if you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the other featured playlists on my channel. Videos on other places like Affton and Grantwood Village can be found in my Missouri playlist or in my St. Louis Suburbs playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. I've been on this stretch of road in a prior video already. On the left is Sappington, and on the right is Concord. Sappington is home to 7,500 residents and has a median household income of $60,000 per year. The poverty rate is 5.6%, and 41% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The median value of owner-occupied housing units is $212,000, and the crime rates are below average. Sappington isn't a city, as it's listed as a census-designated place. The residents are part of the Lindbergh School District, which ranks pretty high. In Concord, the crime rates are just a tad bit higher, and it is also a census-designated place. The residents of Concord are split between the Lindbergh and Melville school districts. There are 16,000 people that call Concord home, which is down from a 1970 peak population of 21,000. The median household income in Concord is $75,000 per year, and the poverty rate is a low 4%. 40% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and the median value of owner-occupied housing units is $204,000. Overall, both CDPs seem like decent places to settle down in if you're making middle to upper class income and you don't want to empty your bank accounts with buying ridiculously priced homes. Now we're in Grantwood Village, and on the right is the Ulysses S. Grant National Historic Site, while on the left is what is known as Grant's Farm. Grant's Farm is a tourist attraction that is open to the public free of admission, but you do have to pay a $15 parking ticket. It was closed during the pandemic, so look for it to reopen possibly in 2021. The farm is owned by the Bush family, which is the same family that used to own the beverage company Anheuser-Busch. In 2008, the Anheuser-Busch brand was bought out by the company known as InBev, and now that company is known as AB InBev. Nonetheless, the Bush family owns a mansion on Grant's Farm, and the farm is like a zoo as it has many different animals. It's called Grant's Farm because the land was once owned by the former president, Ulysses S. Grant. Even though Grant's hometown is in Ohio, the property was given to Grant through his stepfather as a wedding present. Grant had a cabin on the land, and it was featured in the 1904 World's Fair, which was held in St. Louis back when St. Louis used to be one of the nation's more iconic cities. On the flip side, the Ulysses S. Grant National Historic Site, on the opposite side of the road, stores Grant's wife's childhood home and the plantation where Grant worked his slaves to farm the land. Also not too far on the left is the Crestwood Aquatic Center, which looks to be like a mini water park. Speaking of Crestwood, on the left is the suburb of Crestwood, which is actually a city and not a census-designated place like many of the other St. Louis suburbs. Crestwood is home to 11,800 people, which is down from a 1970 peak population of 15,000. The median household income is $84,000 per year, and 53% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The median value of owner-occupied housing units is $208,000, and the crime rates are basically non-existent. Crestwood residents are a part of the Lindbergh School District, which is a very highly rated school district. Basically, Crestwood is another suburb you should consider living in if you're looking to settle down and buy a home in the area. The homes aren't terribly expensive, and it's a safe place to live. I haven't yet talked about Grantwood Village, the town, as it's home to only 850 people. It had as much as 1,002 in 1980. It's basically a place that you'd label as old money. The median household income here is over $110,000 per year, and the median property value in Grantwood Village is $370,000. Now, I'll drive through the residential makeup of Grantwood Village. There's another small subdivision that I drive through in Grantwood Village before making my way over to Affton. Now it's time to ditch this joint for good and check out the larger Affton. Now that we're in Affton, it's once again another suburb that isn't technically a city, rather it's just a census-designated place. The population here is an estimated 20,000, which is down from a 1970 peak population of 24,600. The median household income here is $61,000 per year, and the poverty rate is 10%. 31% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and the median value of owner-occupied housing units is $150,000. The crime rates here are slightly above the national average, but nothing too concerning. The public schools here aren't as good as the nearby Lindbergh schools, but they're still really good nonetheless. All in all, Affton seems to be just like all of the other dozens of South County suburbs in terms of it being a good place to live, as it offers affordable housing and good enough safety. A downside to living in Affton or any of the other nearby suburbs could be that there doesn't seem to be much nightlife in this area. It all depends on what you're looking for, I suppose. To me, while driving through, none of the neighborhoods really stood out to me and made an impression on me, but as I've mentioned throughout this video, none of these places are bad places to live if you end up liking the area. This is Afton High School, home of the Cougars. Whoa. Not those kind of cougars. Get your mind out of the gutter. This is a high school, yo. Yeah, I know, that was a bad joke. Well, anyway, the most recognizable alumni from Afton High School would be John Goodman, who played Dan Connor in the TV show Roseanne, Marcus Golden, who's currently a linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals of the National Football League, and Christine Young, who's a singer/songwriter. The rest of this video, which isn't too much longer, is basically just driving around suburban sprawl, and you'll be able to get more glimpses of some residential subdivisions in this area to see what the housing stock is like. Even though I'm not necessarily in love with this area, it's obvious by just driving around that this is a nice area. It's funny how naive the public can be on different places, as you hear about how St. Louis is up there with Detroit and Baltimore in being one of the most dangerous cities to live in the country. Most people that live in the greater St. Louis area don't live in St. Louis. They live in the suburbs, like what you see in this video. Although there certainly are some awful suburbs of St. Louis, such as most of the Metro East cities, and some of the northern St. Louis suburbs can be sketch, but the greater St. Louis area as a whole definitely has a large chunk of good places to live that go unheard of. Looks like here we have a recently abandoned White Castle. We are now in the village of Marlborough, by the way, home to 2,100 people. Not sure if the name derives from the brand of cigarettes or not, but it seems to be just like all of the other cities in this neck of the woods, as it has a low crime rate. There is a small part of the village that has single-family homes, but most of the population lives in apartment complexes. I'll admit that that's an assumption on my end, but after looking at a Google map and observing what's inside the city limits, it's mostly apartment complexes located conveniently off of this suburban drag strip, which actually carries the original route of US 66. And now we're in Shrewsbury, which is home to an estimated 6,000 people. The town is also home to KSDK, the NBC affiliate for the St. Louis TV market, and KDNL, the ABC affiliate for the St. Louis TV market. Well, you know it's the end of a Nostalgia Tours video when you see me pulling into a Walmart parking lot. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on this channel. Videos on other places like Affton and Grantwood Village can be found in my St. Louis Suburbs playlist or in my Missouri playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. We'll see you next time. Peace!